You also created a gambling system. Let's not lie. Let's not lie and pretend that the bonus round and those random gifted subs was not just about creating a slot machine for creators.
One thing that many people don't realize is 2/3 of our revenue comes directly from our viewers.
See, it's really interesting that he keeps bringing that up as well. So one of the things that you have to know about how corporate comms works is they're always intentional with what they repeat. So again, similar to what I was saying before in terms of you have these beats that you have to hit in terms of the word emotional transference. Was that what it was? Transference of emotional affinity. Like that is a marketing term through and through. Somebody at their marketing team came up with that. And they're like, yeah, say transference of emotional affinity because that will really connect with the brands because there's a bunch of buzzwords attached to that. But essentially, what that means is you connect with the brand. Whatever emotion that you had with the stream at that moment, it's going to transfer to whatever advertising messages it hits the airwaves within that time frame. It's in a ChatGPT term. It might be actually. I would not be surprised. But the interesting one here is this overall stat that 2/3 of the revenue comes directly from viewers. Historically, I don't think that they would have ever said that. And I'm still not 100% sure why they're saying it now. My guess, again, I haven't seen the context clues of why they're saying it. My personal extrapolation is they're trying to convey that shows the level of commitment that viewers have in that most companies are making their money, like content companies are making their money from ads on content. Creators on this platform are getting people to open their own wallets to buy something direct from the streamers, a subscription, bits, etc. And so I think they're trying to take that overall data point and try to tell the advertisers, look, this is an actively hungry to spend audience that is actively already spending money on these creators. They're one step away from spending money on you, on your brand. If you put your advertisement there, they're going to buy it because 2/3 of our revenue already comes from people buying things on Twitch. If on TikTok, 2/3 of TikTok's revenue came from TikTok Shop, you would be like, oh shit, we should be on TikTok Shop. But that's not the case now. I know that they're trying to get more people to buy on TikTok Shop, but most of TikTok's revenue comes from ads. So I that's my extrapolation of why they're doing this now, because it's an interesting thing to be talking to brands about. 66% of our revenue comes from our viewers, which, quite frankly, in a business that is wholly reliant on the community experience or community spend, it puts them in a really precarious position, which is why they're trying to scale up the amount of ads so that it becomes 50-50. They don't want... For the brand itself, they're positioning a risk as a benefit. But that's a risk to their business. That's a risk. So, but that's, again, I haven't seen the context clues from how he speaks about it yet to know for sure if that's why they're doing this, but that's how I perceive it. Anyways, let's continue listening. See if he adds any additional clues to why they're hammering this. They're hammering this. It's not just like an incidental thing that's come up. It's coming out in every single interview.
And it's funny, everybody talks about community. I actually think they misuse the term community. Okay? Community comes from shared experiences. When you think about the communities you belong to, whether it's a church, whether it's a running club, whether it's a friend group, whatever, it's actually all about shared experiences, and it's all about synchronous interaction, where you're experiencing at the same time. I think just sitting and typing into messages on a YouTube video, that's actually not community at all. It may be shared fandom, but community is a sense of belonging. It's a sense of acceptance. It's a sense of connection. Okay, everyone in here, you're all experiencing this. We're not a community yet. That's because y'all haven't experienced things. If we came here every day for a few weeks and then y'all talk to each other, eventually y'all kind of get to know each other and you feel a connection horizontally, not just with whoever's speaking at you. And that's what happens on Twitch. And it's because we build the platform so that we're not distracting you to get you on to the next thing. And so it's by pulling up a chair and staying for a while.
I unironically do believe that you can find community on Twitch better than you can on most other platforms. I do believe that's the case. However, I also believe that a vast majority of that overall community is centered around other streamers. So if you're watching this stream and you only watch this stream, I'm trying to just continue through here as this cat is doing this, and you only watch this stream, it's going to be not that much different than watching on YouTube or TikTok a video there, right? In that if you see the same commenters in a comment section over and over, yeah, of course that's going to, you're going to get familiar with some of the names that keep appearing. There's people on Twitter who nobody actually knows, but they recognize their name, and as a result, will stop and read or watch whatever they end up posting because of that. Twitch, I do think that the live interaction that you can have is good for community building, but it's still mostly towards the person who is creating the content. It is still that I would say that the vast majority of you know more about me than you collectively know about, and I'm using this me, not necessarily meaning me, but because I'm a little bit of a different example here. But you would know more about me as the streamer than you would know about anybody else in the chat. That changes, and again, it's why I think that teams have a lot of value, because not only can you have that connection with me watching my stream, but then you can also meet other people in the stream who are also creating content and watch their content as well. And as a result of that, that's when you start to have the cross-pollination of, oh, I know that person that I saw in Turtles and Chill because I saw them in Zach's stream. And if you're a Davkind viewer and you start watching and you start watching Code with TD, then you go, oh yeah, I know that person because I see them in Dav's stream. And as a result of that, they may go, oh yeah, we're going to raid into Zach's stream. And then they'll be like, oh, I recognize that person from Dav and Code with TD. And so it ends up being this kind of cross-pollination that I think is really, really important and really, really unique to Twitch, in that if you do become a Dougler viewer or an Illusion viewer or a DJ Brew viewer or a Desert Ice viewer, you'll end up becoming, you'll have more of those connection points that is now community. That is now an actual development of a community, because it's not just that you're recognizing people in one chat, you're recognizing it across the platform. And those moments when you see people that you know from other chats and you use the same emotes, those are the moments that are special and unique to Twitch. That's why that's kind of like the prime example of times where community on Twitch is unlike anywhere else, and how you actually, and again, why the team system feels like it's a mistake to have not done anything with. It feels like the ultimate way to encourage that kind of cross-pollination of communities, such that there's so much crossover between Slashy viewers and Davkind viewers and my viewers and Turtles viewers, because we all have a commonality of watching or seeing each other in other people's streams. It often happens within niche game categories where all the viewers know each other across different streamers. Yes. Yep. And so that happens by nature of a common interest. So again, I'm talking like Dan Clancy here, by the way. So he's not wrong a lot of the time. Just he sometimes goes off course into weird places, and that may be showing a little bit of age, or I don't know. But yeah, the thing that I would love to see, again, why I think that this is particularly important, is you get that kind of community crossover on a common game. How can you inspire that kind of cross-pollination between communities? Currently, the only way to do it is a raid, and that's why they lean so heavily on the idea of like, oh, you raid into a stream and then use guest star for a little bit because it warms up your audience and you get to know each other a little bit better, that kind of thing. But I think there's a better way to approach that, and I think that Teams probably has a key a part of that they can kind of lean into and develop that overall cross pollination. Will they do it? Don't know. I don't even think they're paying any attention to Teams at all. But
you build that connection not just with the content, but with the other people that you're watching it with.
Yeah. So again, he's right, but it's not chatters. It's not chatters. If you're purely connecting with other chatters, that's still going to be isolated to a single stream. It has to cross-pollinate across multiple streams in multiple genres.
It's that shared experience that builds that emotional connection.
That makes sense. And it makes me think more of like an
I didn't acknowledge it.
Again, like we're talking about, that like you want to spend your time here, just like you're saying, you want to watch Twitch and just be engaged. Somehow we're out of time. I want to end to true Axio style on one fun thing. What can we get excited about what's next for Twitch? I assume you can't tell me your whole roadmap.
No.
But is there anything in particular?
Guest star.
Well, I'll pick up something that we're just testing on with brands that I think is going to actually be really powerful.
Sponsor. Wait. There's no way he's going to say the sponsorship dashboard. God, I hope to God it's not the sponsorship dashboard stuff. If anything, I hope that he's mentioning these ads. The ads that appear here that play the thing muted, so there's no sound, and you get a video ad in vertical format that would otherwise have been posted previously on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever. Now you can play it on Twitch, but it's muted. There's no sound.
So a subscription is whenever someone subscribes to a channel. It's not to get access to content. It's a form of patronage. A gift subscription is when I want to give more money to you than just the I want to give you $30, $50, and I give you 10 gift subscriptions, and they go out to the community. So it's a gift to people in the community, okay? And it's kind of like if I put some tip jars in here, everybody here gets a little something. And we're going to make it, we did this thing where whenever someone gave a gift subscription, we had a match that was random. Sometimes it'd be one, sometimes it'd be none, sometimes it'd be 10. And initially we did it from Twitch, and now we're going to be having it so brands can do it. And what happens when a brand gives it, it kind of flows in, from L'Oreal gives a gift, L'Oreal gives it, L'Oreal gives.
But they're effectively doing bonus round. They're going to be marketing bonus round as an advertiser product. And the way that bonus round worked is that you would gift a sub, and again, it was from Valorant, right? So they've done this in the past. It's not inherently a new product. They're just going to now offer it to advertisers more directly rather than it being tied to a special event across all of Twitch, which this is effectively was September Part 2. They're going to be offering it as perhaps a platform-wide that just randomly, if somebody gifts a sub, then L'Oreal or Samsung will just gift a sub in that chat as well. That's not inherently a bad thing for them to do, but here's the problem. It has to be valuable for the end user, or sorry, for the advertiser themselves. If I am L'Oreal and I want a CPM rate, so cost per mille, which is when you play an ad, there's a rate that is per 1,000 views. So if my CPM, and many people are going to know this, but I'm just explaining it to people who are not on YouTube or whatever. If I want to have my ad appear in front of 1,000 people, I want 1,000 people to see my ad, a CPM rate of $50 would mean I have to pay $50 for that ad to be viewed 1,000 times. If I pay $10,000, then it would scale based upon that CPM rate. So the inherent problem here is that by nature of this being a sub to a creator being $2 to $3, it means that the again, I don't know how much they're going to be willing to accept, but I do want for every $2 to $3 that I spend, I've got to get like 300 people watching. It's like assuming a CPM rate of like $10. Like if all of this is so basically what I'm saying is that if you go to a channel that has 10 viewers, right, 10 CCV, and you gift a bonus sub because somebody gifted 5, and so L'Oreal is going to gift another 1, well, that cost them hypothetically $3, and only 10 people saw the ad. So that's a CPM rate of, I don't know, $300, $3,000. Basically, they're not getting value for that. So it has to be that if they're going to be gifting these subs, that it really has to lean heavily on large creators. It doesn't make sense to be on small channels. Or perhaps it has to be something like a build-up. No, even then that wouldn't make sense. Oh, actually, it could. It could. A build-up. It could be a thing where on... Actually, let me go to my channel page because it'll only make sense there. It could be a thing... No, not that one. Go to my channel page. This is how they could do it, where it actually creates value for the advertiser. What the hell? Oh, Dan Payne. Where it appears here, right? Above the chat. And it says, give 20 subs to get 1 from Samsung. And so then it's like 7, 8. Somebody gifted 5, so now it's at 13. And that's the only way they could create value because you're getting a Samsung ad that appears all over all the time. There's a financial incentive for people to gift subs because there's a direct goal associated with it. And so they can get to that 1,000 CPM rate of, I don't know, $4. So they're actually getting value from it. 1,000 people are seeing it. They're getting value from it. That's the only way I could see them doing it on smaller channels. We're only 2 subs away from the Samsung Boost? Yes. So anyways, that's the only way that this could potentially work. It's an okay idea, but it has to come with value for the advertiser there. Otherwise, it won't pan out. This right here, that's an ad, right? That's an ad. And so the same with these ones down here. This is an ad. They're counting this as every single time you look at that, because it's very clearly an ad. It appears right here, HelloFresh, sponsored by HelloFresh. It's right at the top. That is an ad placement. And so they are, when they sell this, they are distinctly saying, hey, look, you're going to get 10,000 people are going to see that if you sponsor any of these creators, because these people have 10,000 people who watch them or 20,000 people who watch them. And so it's going to appear prominently in their overall screens.
Part of that expression. And the thing that worked really well was the randomness of it. Because you get these moments where suddenly you get 50 of them or $500, and then the streamer goes, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And you create a moment. And I think a big part of what you're trying to do.
You also created a gambling system. Let's not lie. Let's not lie and pretend that the bonus round and those random gifted subs was not just about creating a slot machine for creators. Literally, I think Ferocia. It was Ferocia created a literal slot machine from it, where if you gifted 5, you got to play a slot machine game on her stream. Yeah, it was a bonus box gamba. 100% it was. It was absolutely gambling. I mean, hell, I did it. I never gifted subs in my, that's not true. I've gifted subs in my chat, but I was just like, all right, guys, we're going to do it. Let's pull the slot machine. Let's give 5 to the chat. And then we get 1, and it's like, big loser. Fail. You have not won today. But then if you got like 4, winner, gagnant. We did win.
Is create moments. We talk about experiential. It's those moments that we remember.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of those moments. Dan,
right.
Thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time.
Gary. Appreciate it.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click like and subscribe to my newsletter at tos.gg or come watch me live at tos.gg/live.